All right, people, I'm going to make a video about war and implements of war. You can see down here before you some strikers. Maybe this was a striker, kind of like that. Now, we're on the floor of my truck, and I apologize. It's the way it is right now. We are also out in the wild with the Joshua Tree and me. That's it. So we're talking about implements of war and people as implements of war. A man's mind is what guides the stone you see to be formed into a tool like me. All right, a tool like me means it's created with thought. There's a lot of thought here. And I was created with thought. What do you mean? Did the evolutionary amoeba create a thought? Think itself? If you believe that you were created by an amoeba, my friend, please look at this rock. You might be smarter than the rock. Doesn't mean you're wiser than God. This one, I really like the most. Oh boy, it's my favorite one. It is missing its front claw of devouring. Right there, you can see my finger fits in there. Looks like a crab's claw, doesn't it? But its claw continued down like this point. I can tell that was broken. What's neat about some of these rocks, especially that one, the wisdom that it was formed with allowed it to be transferred into, unlike this rock, 3 different expressions of the tool. So it could have been broken and then they reshaped it. But whether they reshaped it before, boom, there's the hammer side, there's the pointed side, or whether they shaped it afterwards and used it several times. You can see once the point broke, like our famous rock here, my favorite. Okay, so why we're doing these implements of war? Because information is the implement of war. And that there, my friend, is the key to information. You gotta have it to get in. And I think that this is a little tool, a striking hammer, harder rock, possibly to shape these rocks that are with it. So also, I think that that was a bowl, possibly, and that these rocks were from a tribe that was a little further away, like way out there. And these rocks were from a place a little closer, especially that one. Now, these guys, they're kind of smart. They're really smart. Those guys might not have been as smart. It looks like those guys were attacked by these guys, because these guys would have come from that away. That away, these guys settled, possibly. They met right here, because on that ground, these war zone implements are everywhere, on top of one another almost. Not necessarily. Definitely not on top of one another, but they are next to each other, right at this little divot where the water meets. This was a little watering trough, and that a lot of times is where I find implements, or excuse me, artifacts like this. In Oklahoma, I have, in Hawaii, I have, and now this is Arizona. And in Arizona, we can talk about war. All right, hope you're having a good day out there, and we can really get into the real war of labels. The goodness outside. The goodness outside. There's a philosophy in the world of medicine, ancient times past, that says, as inside, so outside. It was changed in chiropractic to as above, so below. Well, utilized in chiropractic is that similar statement, we could say. Can't change what is truth. Can only add to it and make it a lie. It sounds true. Or take away from it, which is done often. So in the war of your body and your life, you see the word natural flavor. Is that a mango? No, it's not a mango. Is that garlic? No, it's not garlic. Is that parsley? No. Natural flavor. Why doesn't it say it down here in the advertisements? This is natural flavor. That's the truth. That is an ingredient. There's no such thing as an ingredient called natural flavor. Nobody ever... You got to tell me, is it a juice? Is it a liquid, a solid, or a gas? Or neither? Is it a spectacle? So this is where your war lies, ladies and gentlemen, with stones that you gather in your kidneys or in your liver, or a stone in the brain. What would that be? My dear, dear, dear. A stone in your artery. What? A stone in your artery? Rock solid, that is. Walls of Gibraltar. Maybe it's a flat stone. Maybe it was worked by somebody's white flour. You mean bleach. You mean chlorine as an ingredient in bread. What? Chlorine an ingredient in bread? What about thiamine and monotrate and riboflavin? Heavy metals, actually. Iron-based nutrients that are actually magnetically pulled up out of cereal with a magnet. If you blend your dried cereal and your thiamine and monotrate are present, stick a magnet in the powder after you blend your cereal in a blender and see what sticks as metal pieces to your magnet. I like to use a plastic blender and blend my cereal. See what you're eating today, boys and girls, because war over water is a war in food now today. And only the strong survive. Probably not to eat anything that's in a package in a store. So I gave myself away, and I must stop this right away. Water for me until I organize my blender in this truck you see, my Mercedes. It's awesome, awesome big van truck. And I will put my blender, let you take a view of this, tour of this. So I just wanted to bring this food up, let you know it's a war in food, and as war has been on this earth. Putton, Mr. Putton, glad you're liking your game. How's the weather today out there on the course? War is terrible against flies in my truck. Get out! Get out! All right. So hopefully you're having a good day today, all of you, including Mr. Putin and the war mongrels. These flies are making war on us as well with their bacteria. So may I end this here? I like to end at certain times, 10 minutes. So we've got another 50 seconds. And I'd like you to know that there are Fortune 500 companies providing you food, but God knows that there are edible plants out here. I'm going to pick those and I'm going to taste them before I eat dinner so that I work my tongue into God's plan of the first diet, which is I have given you every green herb of the field, and every seed, every. That means excluding none and inclusive of all. Every, the word every, inclusive of all, exclusive of none. That means every one of these seeds on this earth and plants, herbs, are for your medicine, your sustenance.